it's Elisa, half Asian Tarot Queen, and I'm gonna do another reading. I've really been on a tear with this mystical shaman deck, but I feel like I get a lot out of it, so there you have it. Gonna pull a couple cards from this, and yeah, we just had the full moon in Libra, and it was the pink moon, and yeah, like I feel like a lot of times, I mean, even though I oftentimes have trouble sleeping on the night of the full moon, and that definitely happened, but I don't know, something about the climax of this moon seemed a little more gentle and balanced for me, but maybe that's because it's in Libra, I don't know. Okay. All right. And I'm going to pull one card from Spirit Animal Oracle. That's upside down. I haven't been doing this one as much lately. I have a new deck to throw into the mix today too, which I've been kind of wanting for a while, so. Okay, all right, this is good. All right, I'm filling in an extra one, so I'm just gonna take it. All right, so we got two animal oracles, and we've got the Sweat Lodge, the Coyote, Turtle Spirit, which is slow and steady wins the race, and we have Dove Spirit, be peace. All right. Okay, so these are pretty, I feel like, appropriate for what's going on with the quarantine. So the Sweat Lodge, this is a card of, well, it's a card of inner work, and it's just sort of like, you know, you go into the Sweat Lodge, and it's like returning to the womb of Mother Earth, and it's an opportunity to shed beliefs or heal wounds, you know, that they no longer serve you. So the metaphor is that you're like sweating out toxic stuff, you know, and I think because of what's going on in the world and the quarantine, we're all kind of going through this process right now where we're like, you know, we've taken some time to reflect now, I think, and people have sort of identified the things that are like no longer serving them and that need to change. And so now we're actually having to go through, you know, there's a light at the end of the tunnel that you're walking towards, you know, and so it's just like right now we're kind of going through this painful process of sort of shedding those things. So there's like all this conflict erupting, and you know, it's difficult. I can speak to that. And then we have the Coyote, you know, and this really goes along nicely with this message, and they even kind of color match. But the Coyote is the, you know, it's the sacred trickster, and you know, it's like sometimes things in life don't go along as you planned, but there's a lesson in that for you, you know, and so this is sort of like a detour that the universe is like thrown in your path, you know, to maybe make you see something that you weren't seeing or shed something that's not serving you, you know, and it's just like been thrown in your path to like highlight something to you, you know, like for me, you know, I was planning on going overseas for work, you know, like I'm not even supposed to be here right now, but like there's been all this family stuff that's come up for me that I wasn't planning on having to deal with at all, but like clearly it was meant to happen exactly how it is, you know. And so it's like, yeah, I feel like I'm going through this huge purge and healing like these patterns that have been ingrained for decades, you know. And so I'm sure, you know, when you're kind of like quarantined in your home, like this stuff is bound to come up, and everyone's kind of going through this process, you know. But so the turtle spirit, you know, I feel like these animal spirit oracles are kind of guiding us on how to move through. But the turtle spirit is like slow and steady wins the race, you know. Like these are obviously big issues, and they're not going to get resolved overnight, you know. But don't lose hope, you know, and you know, just go slow and be peace, the dove. So yeah, like difficult emotions might arise, and that's going to happen, but don't be discouraged, and you know, don't lash out in anger or do things that you regret, you know, because slow and steady wins the race, you know, like it's not going to get solved overnight, you know. And at the bottom, so I'm pulling out the ethereal visions to get some overall energies, and at the bottom we have the Five of Cups. So, you know, we're going through a difficult moment, and there's loss, and we're losing things shedding things that meant a lot to us right now, and that's painful. But there's a Two of Cups behind you, so there's like a new beginning, you know, there when we turn around. But, you know, we're going to have to go through this sweat lodge, you know. We're sweating out the toxins, and it's difficult, you know. But when I split the deck, I got the Ten of Cups. So this is like happiness, abundance, fertility, family, you know. So that's what we're moving towards. It's just, you know, it's going to be a process. So yeah, I have to remember that sometimes, because yeah, I won't really go into it, because I'm sure everyone can relate, but it's just sort of like, you know, sometimes like some real Jerry Springer type moments come up, and you're just like, oh, wow, really? You know, it's difficult, but, you know, this is life. So, oh my gosh. Okay, it's like I haven't gotten this card before. All right. Oh, all right. So, at the bottom of this deck, we have the Eight of Wands. So this is a message coming in, or something's changing quickly, you know. And we have the Devil. We have the Nine of Cups. And we have the Queen of Pentacles. So the Devil can speak to like a toxic energy or a toxic situation. A lot of passion, but, you know, something maybe that needs to be healed. And it's interesting because it fell out right under this Coyote and the Sweat Lodge cards, you know. So it's just like, obviously we're all working on that, you know. And then we have the Nine of Cups, and it's like, yeah, we're having to work through these difficult situations, but we're going towards our wish, you know. So remember that. And then we have the Queen of Pentacles, which that came up, I feel like, in either yesterday or the day before. And she's been super prevalent in the Divine Feminine readings. But this is a nurturing, loving queen. She's abundant. She's financially stable. She cares about her family. Like, she's really rock solid. And so, yeah, she's been super prevalent in the Divine Feminine thread. So I'm wondering if this reading is going to have something to do with that storyline of the Divine Feminine. So I'm going to pick some more cards and see where we go. But I have this deck, the Tarot del Fuego, and I love the artwork in this deck. So I'm going to pull this one out today. But at the bottom we have the Death card. So yeah, obviously we're all going through this big transformation. I mean, this quarantine moment is like, it's a game changer for pretty much everyone at the same time, like, you know, clearly. But I'm going to pull a few cards from this deck and see. Oh my gosh. Oh, card fell out again. It's a big message. Yeah, and it's just like, it's not clear how long this is going to go on. You know, I think some people are kind of saying till June. But definitely life as we know it is not, it's not the same. It's big. All right, so I'm going to pull 2 more. Oh my gosh. All right, so we got it. All right. So I got the Knave of Pentacles. Got the Death card again. We got the Moon. So the Knave of Pentacles, this is like the Page of Pentacles. So it's just like we're taking a baby step in, you know, in a tangible, solid way, you know, towards this new beginning, you know, because this is like going towards the Death card. So like this transformation. And then we have the Moon, which, you know, this is the realm of emotion. So it's like we're taking a baby step towards some sort of transformation in the emotional realm. You know, and I think that's happening for a lot of people. It's like we're reevaluating like our connections to people and the people around us, obviously. You know, I mean, we're all taking time to reflect on that, you know, out of necessity now. And then we have the Knight of Swords. So this is kind of like a fast message of truth or clarity that's just coming in fast and it's like shaking things up, you know. And then we have the Emperor. So this is kind of like the boss, you know. This guy's, he's like above all the other kings, and you know, he's kind of like the leader of this thread called dynasty. And then right after that we have the Five of Pentacles. So it's just sort of like interesting because we have this Emperor who's like totally abundant and is like the in charge, and it's right next to this Five of Pentacles, which is this card of lack, you know. It's, you know, this is like a symbol of abundance, and then this is like the opposite. This is like a feeling of lack, of like not being worthy, or like not having enough, or feeling like you're not enough. And you know, this thread has been super, I mean, this energy has been super prevalent. It was in a reading a couple days ago, but then also in a thread called Stalkers, because it's sort of like, it's a toxic energy that's been, it needs to be healed, you know, in order to come into your abundance, you know. So it's interesting because it's like we have this fast-ass acting message, and, you know, this is like all happening, and it's like there's this Emperor here, but then underneath that, you know, flanking him, we have this lack, and we have this message of truth of truth and clarity that's coming in. And like this message is coming in along with this like baby step that we're taking, you know. And then it's just like that all felt under the Devil card. So it's just sort of like there's something toxic here that's like coming to light, and like in doing that we're taking like some sort of baby step forward. And then on this side, you know, we have this Queen of Pentacles, and you know, there's this lack and this like realm of emotion. And it's interesting because like this Queen of Pentacles in the Divine Feminine thread has been sort of oppressed by this lack situation for some time, and there was like some kind of stalker situation that was blocking her from sort of like coming into union with her divine counterpart, you know. And so her like emotional world was sort of like being oppressed, you know. But it's like there's this wish coming true, and there's this transformation that's happening, and like it's like someone's like coming into their power, you know. So it's just like, you know, like this, I feel like this drama has been like circulating in the realm of energy for some time, but it's just like it's all been in energy, you know. And it's just like maybe, you know, this quarantine and everyone going through this evaluation is kind of like forcing the hand of this situation to like kind of get healed. I'm going to pull like 3 more cards from, oh my gosh. Just a second. Okay, so at the bottom of this deck, dun, 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 we have Judgment. So yeah, there's some reckoning that's happening with respect to whatever situation this is, you know. I mean, we're healing some situation that doesn't serve us. And then we have the Page of Wands, sorry. So this is a new spark or a new inspiration. The Ten of Pentacles. So this is a card of dynasty, which is interesting because it literally fell right on top of the Emperor card. You know, when I was talking about he's presiding over this dynasty that's being born, and this thread called dynasty. This is like generational wealth, you know. This is like a family, you know. You've got your dog, you've got your 10 pentacles, you're like financially stable, like you've got all this going on. And then we have the Wheel of Fortune. So some profound change that is happening as a result of this reckoning that's happening. You know, we're all doing all this reflection, and we're like, you know, we're letting go of like the toxic things that aren't serving us. You know, there's some truth and clarity that's coming in that's causing us to see things from a different perspective. And so we're starting to take a baby step in the direction of this new perspective, you know. And it's just like we're moving towards our wish, you know, like we're transforming whatever this lack toxic situation is into this abundant, stable situation. Like that's what we're moving towards. And then, yeah, it's like this Queen of Pentacles that's been oppressed by this toxic situation for a really long time. It's been oppressing her in her emotional realm. That situation is getting flipped on its head. So that's good, you know. I'm going to go to the Star Seed Oracle to pick one card to end the reading on. But it's like things may not be as they appear on the surface because there's layers of stuff going on. And I think, you know, people are shedding layers of stuff right now. It's like a deep cleaning that's happening, you know, in the emotional realm. And it's just like for everyone, everywhere. Okay. So the card that comes out is Karmic Relationships. Orion Energy, Polarity, Soul Growth, Conflict. Yeah, so I mean, these deep healing events, they cause conflict and drama, you know, because the way that things are is changing, and it's like not easy. So I'm going to read you what it says in the book. It says, the constellation Orion is thought by many to have been a place of great polarity and eventual unity. Some believe that many starseeds who are part of this cosmic history are incarnate on Earth now and are playing out karmic relationships from Orion times. Perhaps you're one of them. Polarity causes conflict and highlights separation. However, because of this, conflict can also result in unity and growth. Too many misunderstandings are caused when we don't open our heart and mind and see things from a different point of view. When we go into reactive second-guessing mode instead of gathering the courage to open our heart, we should admit that we may have reacted because of our own woundings and then find mutual ground. We're all innocent children looking to be seen, understood, and cherished. It's much harder to grow closer through conflict than it is to grow further apart, and yet that's the invitation of conflict. It's easy to react and take things personally. It's more challenging to see the innocence of all involved and find a way to grow closer through conflict. It's through relationships that we grow the most. How can you soften your heart and drop your defenses enough to see things from a different point of view? How can you see the innocence of all involved? How can you learn to see the similarities rather than the differences? So yeah, it's just like we're going to have to go through this transformation, which is going to cause conflict. And so, yeah, the challenge is to keep our relationships intact, you know, through all these shifts. So, good luck with that. I'm for sure struggling with this myself, and so I'm definitely drawing inspiration from this message today. And we'll be back